The man sitting opposite Josiah Wasserman's desk appeared, under closer inspection, to have startling amphibian characteristics and mannerisms, enough so that Josiah readied his finger by the intercom should there be a need to summon security. That the man's name was Mr. Angel Fishbein made this meeting all the more odd. The peculiar aspects of this meeting were, putting it mildly, just beginning to swim upstream. Mr. Angel Fishbein had a pair of large, dark, bulbous eyes with a razor-thin bump for a nose. His red, moist lips were full in a near constant state of puckering. It looked as if he rarely saw sunlight, and the pale flesh of his face and hands had an unseemly oily sheen. If a company was looking for a new, unique Halloween mask, Josiah thought, they'd have a winner in Mr. Fishbein. He had to remind himself that looks weren't important. This was market research, after all. Yes, the products they tested had to look, smell, taste, feel, and sound perfect. The people behind those products, well, that was another matter. One often wondered at the various market research conferences if this collection of non-appealing shapers of all that was consumed in America weren't living vicariously through the sexy, popular commodities they helped create. It was like an origami rose made by the hands of a deformed hunchback.
Humans can't see that world from outside the forest. The forest is dark and green and looming, tall, overpowering, menacing, at the edge of town, out the back of my house. It is a green curtain hiding the other world from boundary. Underneath the leafed roof and 100 meters behind the forest's border, the darkness disappears. The gloom lifts, leaving the world eerie and golden from the small amount of light that filters down to the leaf litter through the patchy green roof. A creek trickles across a bed of rocks. The trees grow so tall that the first 8 meters of the tree trunks have almost no branches and no leaves. The musty air is held captive in the golden landscape.
The whisper of footsteps across the crisp grass informed him that he was no longer alone. It was a good job, too. He had waited for his friend for all of 20 minutes. Justin Middleton was a man of extreme punctuality. His friend was not. The other man was 40 feet away, quickly growing nearer. Justin had exceptional hearing. He was seated on a bench near the centre of Albert Park. The bench was situated in the southern edge of a concrete-covered circle. Justin sat facing the ornate stone fountain at the circle's centre. It had been switched off for the night. Its basin held water, though. He could hear its sluggish movement as a frog waded around on the hunt for sustenance. The other man was barely 20 feet away now. Justin pulled up the sleeve of his jacket to examine his watch. As the sky was turning from twilight to night, he had to squint a little to examine the hands. He tutted, a loud noise that snapped and echoed throughout the open. 21 minutes and 32 seconds late, Simon, he said without turning. Not good at all, is it? Simon was almost upon him. His breathing turned heavy as he started to jog. I'm sorry. Really. Honestly. A deep breath punctuated each word. Simon made his way around the bench. It's a long story.
Amy always hated driving at all. They took the keys away from her when she was 16 because she ran into a freaking pole. And before that, she had borrowed her car when she was her dad's car when she was 14 and ran it into a cop car. So I don't see why she's driving through the Barrens. She needs to avoid it more often. I mean, heck, there were riots there. Didn't you know that? Well, check the news. I mean, look at the news. I mean, we see this every day. There's been, just horrible, horrible violence. I mean, for days the television news was full of images of death. When it finally abated, it was days before people could return to their homes without stepping over wreckage, both manufactured and human. Yet here she is, driving down Terrace Road, at night nonetheless, just to shave a few minutes off her travel time. She does work at a goth club, though. I remember that. Very, very, very chic. Very chic, very... Goths are... A lot of them are cute. So, Amy... I don't know. I've never looked at Amy that way. I love water.